Once again, this is Pastor Ezekiel Ojo with Moment of Empowerment. We thank God for another opportunity to look at a topic titled, Not All That Pleases is Pleasant. Not all that pleases is pleasant. It's not all that glitters in life that is actually gold. If we have to base our life's desires on the way things look, we might run into a lot of trouble in life. The fact that something looks good does not mean it is right. In 1 John chapter 2 from verse 15 to 17, 1 John chapter 2 from verse 15 to 17, the Bible says, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth forever." What kills man is the inability to manage lusts. What is the lust of the eye? What is the lust of the flesh? And what is the care of life? First, we need to define what lust is. Lust can be defined as coveting something, desiring something that doesn't belong to you. Or in the case of the lust of the eyes, it is coveting and desiring to look at something that you should not be looking at. It is nothing but a very intense, extreme, and sometimes uncontrollable desire for something. The classical story in the Bible that captures this can be found in Judges chapter 14 concerning Samson. A little background information about Samson will drive the message home. Samson was born in Nazareth, and by virtue of who he was, there were boundaries for his life. No razor must touch his head. However, Samson had a major weakness, and that weakness was women. In verse 1, the Bible says, "And Samson went down to Timnah." He went down, not up, "and saw a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines. And he came up and told his father and his mother, and said, I have seen a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the Philistines." Don't forget, the Philistines are avowed enemies of the children of Israel. And he went to look for a woman in Timnah of the daughters of the enemies of his people. And he said to his parents, "Now therefore, get her for me to wife." Then his father and his mother said unto him, "Is there never a woman among the daughters of thy brethren, or among all my people, that thou goest to take a wife of the uncircumcised Philistines? Don't you find any lady in this neighborhood? And you have to now go and fetch for a wife among our enemies." And Samson said unto his father, "Get her for me, for she pleaseth me well." Don't forget the title of this message. It is not all that pleases that is pleasant. Samson said, "Hey, this lady pleases me. Just get the lady for me." He did not pay attention to the explanation of the father. The father said, "You cannot go and marry from the midst of our enemies. Marriage is a very critical event. You cannot trust your life into the hands of enemies." But Samson said, "For she pleases me well." Not all that pleases is pleasant. He continually entered the tempting hands of frivolous women, and he did not take heed until he met his death in chapter 16 of the book of Judges. in the hands of the woman called Delilah. From verse 15 to 21 of Judges chapter 16, the Bible says, "And she said unto him," that's Delilah saying unto Samson, "How can thou say, I love thee, when thy heart is not with me? Thou hast mocked me these 3 times, and hast not told me wherein thy great strength lies." Why should the woman be interested in the strength of a man? Not all that pleases is pleasant. And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily with her words, power of words, persistently, the woman pressed Samson daily with her words, and urged him so that his soul was vexed unto death, that he told her all his heart, and said unto her, "There has not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me, and I shall become weak and be like any other man." He opened his own mouth to reveal the secret of his strength. Because of the persistent pressure from the woman from the enemy's camp, he freely gave Delilah the secret of his strength. Be careful what you do on the lap of Delilah. And when Delilah saw that he had told her all his heart, she sent and called for the lords of the Philistines, her own people, saying, "Come up this once, for he has showed me all his heart." Then the lords of the Philistines came up unto her and brought money in their hand. And she made him sleep upon her knees, and she called for a man. She caused him to shave off the 7 locks of his head. She began to afflict him, and his strength went from him. And she said, "The Philistines be upon thee, Samson." And he awoke out of his sleep and said, "I will go out as at other times before and shake myself." He wist not that the Lord was departed from him, but the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in the prison house. And what pleased Samson eventually killed him. God gave him the spirit of self-control, but he did not pay attention to self-control. He could not control himself of the appetite and desires for women. The Bible says in Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28, "He that has no rule over his own spirit is like a city that is broken down and without walls." Do you have rule over your spirit? Can you control your appetite for things? It's a sign of maturity when you know when to say no to a thing. It is not everything that pleases your flesh that is pleasant. There must be times you will say no, though it looks pleasant, but it might be a trap from the enemy's camp. Samson fell into the trap of the enemy's camp because he did not pay attention to temperance. "Give her to me, for she pleases me well." I don't know what you are demanding now from men or demanding from God that you should be giving, just because it ministers to your fleshly needs, it might be a trap from the camp of the enemy. And Samson wasted a destiny. Someone that was designed as a Nazarite to deliver the people from the hands of the enemy became a victim in the hands of the enemy. Why? Because he was careless. Not all that glitters is gold. Be careful. Not all that pleases you is eventually pleasant. May God give you grace to be able to control your appetites, to be able to pay attention to lusts, so that you can fulfill destiny and you can fulfill purpose. Samson's destiny and purpose were cut short. There were great plans in heaven for Samson, but he never fulfilled one because he did not pay attention to self-control. Beloved, I want to encourage you. Be careful. It's not everything that glitters that is gold. Until next week, when I come your way again in another edition of Moment of Empowerment, this is Pastor Ezekiel Ojo. God bless you.